guess.
Okay, well, let's take a look at those, Jeff, because we only have about a moment here. First of all, self-hate has zero value. And you quickly went over the old illustration that when you point at other people, your pointing finger, there's three fingers pointing back at you. Now, that's usually used to help people understand that judging others has no benefit because ultimately people can judge you as well. But in this case, you kind of use it as putting things back on yourself. What do you do for a living, Jeff?
I'm a carpenter.
Okay, excellent. So you create, you build for a living.
Yes.
I love that. I think that's incredibly important. I'm going to give you some, as far as you see, this is not a show about medicine or anything like that, so if there's something going on chemically with you dealing with depression, you need to see a professional about that deals with that. But as far as finding yourself in this, donate your time. Go and help others. Is a great way to remind yourself what a piece of the puzzle you are and how you can play a part in this with everybody else. That is very powerful. That will help you see things different. So that's the homework you have, is find a soup kitchen or something like that that you can safely go and help other people for now. Get the focus off of yourself. You're focusing too much on yourself and not on others. That will be a powerful tool for you and imperative to your growth. The second thing is, the disciples knew. They went through different things. The things that you see in Scripture are their humanity winning. The humanity and doubt coming in and their faith wobbling. They knew. I mean, it says in Scripture, well, they misunderstood this, they misunderstood that, about the rising of the temple, all these things, there was confusion. But they knew, but they were fearful. And at the point of the resurrection, it all came together. And they finally understood that dying was not a spiritual death on the cross. It was a physical death. And that their spirituality would be eternal because of that payment. That's what they knew. That's what they learned and understood in its fullness after the resurrection. You are listening to the Jesus Christ Show. To ask your question, dial 800-520-1534.
Layla Muhammad, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A woman has been shot and killed on the 210 freeway in Arcadia. The CHP says the woman was shot around 9 yesterday morning and then crashed her car. The shooter in the other car got away. The freeway was closed most of yesterday because of the shooting investigation. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has been touring his state looking at the flooding damage from Hurricane Ida. He says at least 27 people have died in his state from the storm.
These storms are more frequent and they're more intense. And we have both infrastructure and a playbook as a state and as a nation that is not up to par right now. It's not made for the current reality, never mind the future reality.
Piscataway Mayor Brian Waller said the victim may have been carried out by the storm's strong current caused by flash flooding. He says the complex, which has 400 apartments, may be without power for over a month. New York City is also opening service centers in all 5 boroughs to assist residents affected by flood damage from Hurricane Ida. The 5 centers will provide people with in-person support and information on resources and services that are available. At least 13 people in New York have died from last week's flooding from Ida. And Pete Buttigieg says he and his husband, Chasten, are now parents of 2. The U.S. Transportation Secretary posted a black and white picture on Twitter of the 2 holding their daughter, Penelope Rose, and son, Joseph August. The former presidential candidate and mayor of South Bend, Indiana, first announced the 2 were on their way to becoming parents almost 3 weeks ago. They've been married since 2018. They now live in Washington's Capitol Hill neighborhood. Southland weather from KFI. Mostly sunny for your Sunday. Highs near 80 for the beaches. Low 90s for Metro LA and Inland OC. Around 100 for the valleys and the Inland Empire. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
Accident, going to be, call Jacob and Bonnie. Call Jacob.
Is it safe to return to work?
Should my kids go back to school?
Can I see my friends and family now?
As life returns to normal, our COVID-19 worries have not disappeared, but evolved. CalHope offers free tips and tools to help manage your stress. Call our warm line at 1-833-317-4673 or live chat online at calhope.org.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your cars today. Donate online at carsforkids.com. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll get a vacation voucher and maximum tax deduction. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also accepting real estate donations. Running a business comes with pressure. Remote workforces, HR compliance, retaining top talent. You start to feel boxed in. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Instead of obstacles, I'm surrounded by people empowered to be their best. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
You must be tired of unclogging drains for 99 bucks.
No, ma'am. Lots of homeowners like you calling about hot water heaters lately.
I bet you smell good plumbers get a pretty penny for diagnosing these things.
Didn't they tell you? The house call is free for residential homeowners with tank-type water heaters.
No way! Stinky's Rooter charged us buku bucks to diagnose our last water heater.
I know. A lot of clients have told me that.
And if I remember right, their guarantee only covers the first year.
Yeah, they use that as the industry standard, but the Mike Diamond standard covers the whole thing. If the hot water heater leaks 5 years and 11 months down the road, we'll install a new one for free, including labor.
That's crazy talk.
It may be crazy, but it's true.
This is Mike Diamond, and I guarantee my plumber will show up on time and smell good, or your house call is free.
Have a smell good plumber diagnose your hot water heater for free. Call 1-800-446-MIKE or check out the hot water heaters page at MikeDiamond.com. Contractor license number 399170.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Sabino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-509-1667. That's 800-509-1667. 800-509-1667. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Election Day for the California gubernatorial recall is September 14th, 2021. Every active registered voter will receive a vote-by-mail ballot, so check your mailbox. Answer the 2 questions on your ballot and put the completed ballot into your prepaid postage return envelope. And don't forget to sign the back. You can return your ballot through the mail, at a ballot drop box, or at your local polling place or vote center. Learn more at vote.ca.gov.
KFI would like to thank the Radio and Television News Association for making KFI News the winningest news outlet in Southern California.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
Christ Show. I am your holy host. Happy to be with you this Sunday as I'm with you every single Sunday right here, answering your questions and talking about the things that truly matter in life and the afterlife, and enjoying the strange music that Juwan just pulled there. If you only knew who was singing that. All right. If you have a theology question or life situation question, I would love to hear from you. 800-520-1534. 800-520-1534. John, welcome to the Jesus Christ Show.
Good morning, Jesus. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Pleasure. What's going on, John?
I lost my best friend for 37 years. And he's a different religion. He was Buddhist. Language was not a barrier. Our friendship was so hard. And I'm having a hard time coping with it. And I just want to know if whenever I see my Maker, will I see him as well since he practices different religions? And I was researching something about their religion, and they don't believe in the soul. That's Buddhism. I was not aware of that, but and he's in another state. Fortunately, I'm out on the East Coast, and he's on the West Coast.
And when did he pass?
He passed away on Friday, the 27th, and I found about him on Saturday. Unfortunately, he had a brain aneurysm.
So it was fairly sudden.
I think, yes. We talked every Friday and Saturday. Even though we were in different time zones, we kept communication. And I was fortunate enough to see him one last time last year. I drove to the West Coast to just be with my father and him. And we shared some time with my family.
I can hear that you're obviously in pain. It is very fresh, and it's incredibly normal to start wanting to process this through the lens of your faith and your belief. And I can give you some answers, certainly, that are academic. We can look at the belief system of Buddhism. But the reality is, regardless, John, you're going to be in pain as you mourn the loss of a friend. The faith of the friend is important to God, but to you, that's a relationship between your friend and God. That your relationship, John, and your connection, that's important to you, and that was for here. That was for this time in this world. And regardless of the beliefs, which are different, Buddhists, they have many heavens, but all of these heavens are a very temporary part of what they refer to as the samsara, kind of this cycle of life, this circle, and that process of reincarnation or rebirth. That cycle is about reaching nirvana, which is enlightenment. It's different than the concept, the Christian concept of heaven, which is a reconnection. It's going home to be with your Maker and celebrating that. It's not about, people make it, all these different things. Well, you're going to see all your friends and family, and yes, is that part of it? Yes. But it's not the core of it. The core of it is to reconnect with your Maker. So there's differences, absolutely. They're two completely different belief systems with nothing in common. But that's not your concern. That is something for God to work out, not for you. For now, you are to celebrate the life of your friend, celebrate the uniqueness and the preciousness of that individual, and what they brought to your life and what they brought to the lives of others, how they dedicated themselves to a belief and an understanding, all of those things. I think that many use religion as a way to separate and faith as a way to separate. And it's not that there aren't important times where Scripture says iron sharpens iron. The two people can argue, or the two people can share their faith and argue about these things and guide each other, and all that has beauty and wonderfulness to it. However, sometimes it gets in the way of true connection as well. And there's the focus of a person and their core belief is important because it lets you know how they think about things and how they work through problems or troubleshoot life. But I don't like to see people separate themselves, in some sort of cult way where they forget that interacting on this planet and interacting with each other has its purpose as well. So just rejoice in the friendship. Rejoice that you knew him. What was his name, John?
Kitara.
Rejoice in Kitara. Rejoice in the friendship. And that you had a chance to connect with one another and celebrate that. Share him with others when you have an opportunity. But this is a time of mourning, John. You don't need to work out or solve the problems of God. If there is an opportunity for you guys to connect ever again, that's up to God. It's not something you need to put on your shoulders right now. What was one of the things that you miss about him most?
His patience, his understanding.
How'd that come up between the two of you?
He was there for me when I was in really hard situations in my life. He was always there. I could count on him. I could speak to him. He never had any sort of an agenda behind his friendship. Even though he spoke a different language, I speak a different language, Hispanic, and he's Thai descent. We both, he knew when I was going to call him. I knew we had that sync between each other. Like I indicated, we're both out on a different coast, and we would still make the opportunity to speak to each other every weekend or every Friday. We were on a chain.
That should be cherished. That's a powerful friend. What you just explained, patience, the lack of judgment, being able to listen and hear what you're going through, that's pretty incredible. You can see why the pain is deep, losing someone like that.
I called him my brother.
He was?
Truly.
You're going to wrestle with this for a while, John. There's no quick way. I don't think you should rush through it. I think you can contemplate the friendship. I think that it's inspiring that you found ways to connect at a distance with language barriers and faith barriers and all these different things. The two of you fought to have a relationship. You had to. There was a lot of hurdles and a lot of things you had to deal with. But you did it, John. You found a way. And I think that you should celebrate that. You continue, as always, anybody who loses somebody, you become the curator, John, of Katara's life. You become the curator of his laughter, his insights, all of these, and you contain those in who you are, and you pass them along. And for now, that's how you'll experience him, and that's how others will experience him as well. You are listening to the Jesus Christ Show. To ask your question, dial 800-520-1534.
Before I started Rooter Hero Plumbing, I was an angry young man. Hello, I'm John Acquayan. I was angry because my dad died when I was 17 and he left me alone. I was angry because I couldn't go to college with my friends and because I had to drop out of high school. It's not a pleasant story. But as I grew older, I also grew up. I realized that my dad didn't leave me alone. He left me with values and principles that continue to shape my life. Dad said, be on time. He didn't like it when people were late. He taught me to be polite. It was something I lost, but recaptured along the way. And he taught me to keep my promises, because broken promises lead to broken relationships. We teach and keep these values at Rooter Hero Plumbing. I think we have a pretty good company. I know we have great people. And if one of our heroes fails to live up to these values, please call me. My private number is on the back of every Rooter Hero business card. You can also reach us at rooterhero.com. Thank you.
Everybody needs a hero. RooterHero.com. CL 102-8886.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC.
Which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body.
I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Homeowners who have not refinanced are leaving a ton of money on the table. Make sure you're not one of them. It just takes a quick call to American Financing, America's home for home loans. You'll get a free, no-obligation mortgage review. No pressure, no upfront or hidden fees. Just a simple conversation around ways you can save up to $1,000 a month, all without starting your term over. That's right, they can do any term 10 years and over, and you may be able to postpone 2 mortgage payments, creating even greater upfront savings. Imagine what you can do with that money. Then pick up the phone and call American Financing. They're open now, and they're open nights and weekends, so they're always available when you need them. 800-777-8109. That's 800-777-8109. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. American Financing, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hey parents, have you ever wondered how to talk to your kids about the crazy things happening in the world? As great as schools can be, they often don't teach important things like hard work, how to start a business, the golden rule, or how the economy works. But kids need to learn about big ideas like these, which means it's up to you. So, how do you go about it? By telling your kids stories. And that's the power behind the beautifully illustrated Tuttle Twins books. The Tuttle Twins is a series of children's books that have sold over 2 million copies already. These books teach important ideas that teachers and textbooks don't really discuss. And they make it super easy for you to help your kids learn the values that our country was founded upon. If you want to help your kids understand how the world works, so they can be a positive part of it, go to TuttleTwinsRadio.com to get your set of books. You'll get a 35% off discount and free activity workbooks too. That's TuttleTwinsRadio.com.
13 KFI traffic. We do have a crash in South El Monte on the 60 westbound at Santa Anita. That is blocking the left lane. To Ontario on the 10 eastbound at the I-15. We have a crash there blocking the left lane. And getting word of a new wreck in the Cajon Pass, 15 northbound at the 138. That's blocking the right shoulder. To Inglewood on the 405 northbound of Manchester Boulevard, a crash there blocking the right shoulder. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jonathan Weiss.
If you're traveling, you know a country fair. The winds hit heavy on the borderline. Remember me, the woman's head. She once was a true love of mine. If you go, snowflakes fall, the rivers freeze and the summer ends. Sleep for me, she wears a coat so to keep her from the howling wind.
It is the Jesus Christ Show. I am your holy host. Happy to be with you this Sunday as I'm with you every single Sunday right here, answering your questions and talking about the things that truly matter in life and the afterlife. I'd love to hear from you if you have a theology question dealing with God, religion, spirituality, worldviews, the Bible, or if you're going through something in life, I'd love to hear from you as well. The number is the same for both. Anywhere in the U.S. of A, dial 800-520-1534. It's 800-520-1534. Mike, welcome to the Jesus Christ Show.
Hey, thank you. So I have a question that I just wanted to see if you could give me the answer to, because I can't figure it out. But I guess when Moses came back and he from Mount Sinai, I guess, and he came back and the Israelites had melted down, Aaron had melted down the gold that they got from the Egyptians, and it came out. I think they melted it and it just came out in the form of a cap. I don't think they formed it in one. I'm not sure about that.
Well, that was Aaron's excuse, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. I did read in there, and it's in the Bible, and I'm like, it sounds like it just came out. But the one thing that I'm pondering is that Moses burned the gold into a powder or dust and ground it down even more, and then made all of the Israelites drink it. And I just couldn't figure out what the reason for that was, and what it would do or cause, and it just always made me go, what the heck?
Well, there's a lot going on there, and I can see why it's confusing, because there is not, quite honestly, a clear answer. So you're talking about Exodus 32, 20 specifically, but when you go through the entirety of that story, you have Aaron, who is supposed to be the spiritual leader in the moment as Moses goes up the hill, being called by God to receive the Ten Commandments, or what is referred to as the Ten Commandments. And what Aaron is practicing is syncretism. Okay, and syncretism is a form of heresy where you're trying to combine multiple belief systems. So he's using certain Jewish terms and then taking pagan aspects and mixing them together during this process. There's a lot going on that's deeper than just that one part of the story. So you've got a couple of things that people ask questions. One, if a molten image can't be ground to dust, or cannot be burned to dust, rather. There's a couple different beliefs here, one of which is that it was possibly gold on the outside, because if you remember, They were melting down earrings that were taken from Egypt, and it was put over a wood image. Regardless of what it was originally, what ends up happening is Moses destroys it and then ends up mixing the ash with a powder. And the ash could very well just be that which was the soot that was built up and during the destruction, and mixed it with water. And there's a couple things going on here. It's supposed to show the pollution in what they were doing. They were polluting the stream of monotheism. The whole point of the miracles that Moses brought through God, or God brought through Moses, rather, about the plagues and everything, each of them tied into different polytheistic gods. So the whole purpose was to show that there was one God that was over all the other gods. Now you have Aaron building this idol, and it was polluted by combining Jewish beliefs and words and terms in with paganism. That Moses, the theory is that Moses was trying to show how it polluted things, just like the ash or the powder polluted the drinking water. Like, hey, do you want to drink this polluted water? No. Then why do you pollute the belief system? Why are you polluting the belief system? If you don't want polluted water, why would you want a polluted religion? And that's more of the common belief, is that it was to explain or to show the problem in which they were doing by polluting the line. Others believe that it ties into justice, and it was an act of consequence, that this is the consequences of what you've done. But ultimately, there's a lot going on there, and it's not specifically explained, but those are some of the theories that are tied into it. You are listening to The Jesus Christ Show. To ask your question, dial 800-520-1534.
Your own personal Jesus.
Labor Day weekend, a perfect opportunity to wonder what you did with your whole summer. But look at the bright side. It's almost Christmas. Oh my goodness.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Voting centers open. I'm Layla Muhammad, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. More than 100 voting centers are now open in LA for the governor recall election. The centers are open from 10 to 7 daily for in-person voting or for anyone to drop off a completed mail-in ballot. The recall election is September 14th. Vice President Harris has announced she will campaign for Governor Newsom on Wednesday ahead of the recall election. The trip by Harris will make her the highest-profile Democrat to campaign for the governor. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the president plans to campaign for Newsom, but it's unclear when he would make the trip since he's visiting storm-ravaged states recovering from Hurricane Ida. A man has been arrested for allegedly stabbing and killing a woman in July. Burbank Police's J.J. Polisi says the man worked at a retirement home where the stabbing happened.
He was an ex-employee, recently terminated. We know that she was a manager at the location. We don't really know a whole lot about the relationship outside of that.
Police say 27-year-old Paul Haney IV killed the woman at Burbank Retirement Villa West. Haney was arrested after witnesses identified him as the person involved in the attack. He has pleaded not guilty. 6 people have been shot in Northwest D.C. Metropolitan Police Chief Robert Conti says 3 of those shot last night have died.
I'm asking for the community's help to help bring this case to closure. My condolences to the families of the deceased.
The shooting happened in the Brightwood Park area. The shooters got away. Dalmatian dogs have traditionally been the animal of choice for FDNY firehouses. However, one station in Brooklyn chose a mascot that doesn't bark.
That's because it oinks instead. The New York Post reports Penny is a 3-month-old, 9-pound teacup pig who belongs to FDNY firefighter Darren Harris. He had adopted Penny from a farm in Virginia for his 5-year-old daughter who had been afraid of dogs. Penny accompanies Harris for his shift, but she stays behind when the firefighters respond to calls. Thanks to Penny, the firehouse has now adopted a new no pork rule when it comes to meals. Andrew Carabella, KFI News.
The Dodgers beat San Francisco 6-1 with last night's win at Oracle Park. The Dodgers return to top the NL West in a tie for the spot with the Giants. Julio Urias is credited with the win for LA. The rivals tangle again this afternoon in San Francisco. Comedian David Spade doesn't think he's as funny as he once was. He blames the current climate in America, admitting to TMZ on Friday that he's afraid of getting canceled. He said it's a very tough world out there. He said he's been forced to work with safe, dry material rather than pushing the limits like he used to. The former SNL cast member has also weighed in on the fate of now former Jeopardy host and executive producer Mike Richards, who had been forced out after derogatory comments he made in the past on a podcast. Spade said simply, "That's the way it is." Okay, we have some traffic right now. Crash over the 60 in El Monte.
It's going to be on the westbound side, right at Santa Anita. That is over on the right shoulder. Through Ontario, 10 eastbound at Milliken Avenue. Look out for a wreck there in the left lane. And we have a stall in Pico Rivera, 605 southbound of Tech Road. That's along the right shoulder. Through the Cone Pass, 15 northbound before the 138. Look out for a crash there in the right lane. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jonathan White.
It's heating up outside. I'll have the details next.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with owning without even leaving my house. I got a no closing cost refi at a great low rate, and owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 855-5-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 30-year fixed refi at 2.625% rated APR with no closing costs. None. Zero. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 855-5-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more. That's 855-5-OWNING or log on to owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval. Call 823-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
You can crush it too with a 30-year fixed 2.625% rate in APR with absolutely no closing costs.
This is phase 2 right there. To work.
Should my kids go back to school?
Can I see my friends and family now?
As life returns to normal, our COVID-19 worries have not disappeared, but evolved. CalHope offers free tips and tools to help manage your stress. Call our warm line at 1-833-317-4673 or live chat online at calhope.org.
Election Day for the California gubernatorial recall is September 14th, 2021. Every active registered voter will receive a vote-by-mail ballot, so check your mailbox. Answer the 2 questions on your ballot and put the completed ballot into your prepaid postage return envelope. You can return your ballot through the mail, at a ballot drop box, or at your local polling place or vote center. Learn more at vote.va.gov. Your vote is your voice.
Now, when it comes to precious metals, gold and silver